welcome to another episode of The Profile. My name is Gary Dunn and I'm your host. And tonight, on the couch or the chair, we have Mr. Ray Van Ross. How are you, Ray?
Hey, Gary.
Thank you
Good
for
to
coming
be here,
in.
buddy.
Yep, thanks for coming in. You're looking very colourful tonight.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So, first question, Ray, where were you born?
I was born in India,
Yep.
New Delhi.
Not the old Delhi.
No, not the one on the corner, the new one, okay? All those years ago, yes, indeed.
Yes.
Left when I was about 6 years old.
Your family immigrated to Australia?
To England.
Oh, okay, yep.
I was on England. I'm trying to think of the name of the boat, but it escapes me. But I remember doing a little, not a pantomime, but a concert on the way to England. And there I was, about 7 years old, singing this song. Don't ask me what song it was. But got to England and lived in Croydon, East Surrey.
Yep.
I think it was around about 53 or something when the Queen Elizabeth was having the coronation.
Wow.
And that was that in England until the ripe old age of 16.
Yep.
But my parents all fairly musical. Mum played the piano.
Yep.
Dad played violin and mandolin.
Okay.
My oldest brother played the piano. So we used to have these pound parties. And the idea was that all the ladies would bring a plate of something. The guys would bring a bottle of beer or whatever.
Yep.
And hire a hall and have music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Yeah, it was good. It was great.
And so from there, I mean, you're a singer. We all know you as a singer.
Yeah.
But instruments?
I was very bashful and still am to a degree. Get sort of fairly nervy before going on stage.
Yeah.
But in the early stages, I used to panic. Because every time we had a party at home, I know my dad would say a certain time, "Where's Ray?" And he'll yell out, and I'll be hiding somewhere because I knew exactly what he wanted to do. I had to sing a song in front of all the people. So it was. But I've fought through that.
Yeah. I still get nervous.
I think it's a good thing, that nervous energy. You fight through it, brings out the best in you.
So was that the turning point in your life? I mean, being scared to sing, that spurred you on to?
Yeah, I mean, all through going to school, I never sort of ventured into the choir or anything. It's something that I suppose I had, and it sort of developed when I came to Australia.
Yeah. What year was that when you came to Australia?
Well, 1962.
62. Wow.
62 on the 10-pound scheme.
Yeah. I came 8 years after you on the 10-pound scheme.
Did you? There you go.
We're still going.
28, 29 days on the ship, and you get off at Fremantle and trying to get your feet back on solid ground.
Yeah.
It was quite amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I came on a plane, but I did go to Canada and the boats were called Empress of. I think in those days, like Empress of Canada, the Empress of England, might have been the Empress of India that you came from.
When
you went to England. Yeah.
I think it was the Batory.
The Batory? Well, it's definitely not an Empress, is it?
I might have just made that up.
Stumped me. Okay, I'll move on to the next question.
Let's do it.
What was the biggest influence musically then? Bands or singers? Or?
It was funny because leaving England in 1962,
it was just starting to happen, wasn't it?
Got to Perth, and all of a sudden I hear this song, "She loves you, yeah, yeah." I go, what? I've just come from there. What's going on? And that just blew me away.
Yeah.
And all the other songs that they brought out. I mean, just one after the other. I think they had about 5 songs in the top 10 at one stage.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. Yeah.
So what was the first concert would have been in Australia that you went to?
Well, the first concert of any Yeah, would have to be at the entertainment center.
Yeah.
I paid $12 and a half dollars, I think, back in 72, 73.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney and Wings.
All right. Yeah.
Wow.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And now I'm going to go and see McCartney again in December. It's cost me $450.
I was going to say you got a ticket. Obviously, I tried.
$450, and I don't know where the hell I'm going to be. You know, it could be right at the back. It's pot luck.
Yeah. Just to be there, I think would be.
Yeah, I
special.
think it's it's going to be his last hurrah. You got to be there for the man.
I read a story last week, Ringo Starr talking about Paul McCartney actually dying in '66 and this guy taking over. Did you catch up on all of that? And
I've sort of seen a couple of things on YouTube or storylines and so forth. It's very hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Very hard.
So you came to Australia, and you were hearing all the Beatles tunes and all the stuff that came from England.
Yep.
What was the scene like here for you when you were starting? Obviously, it was.
I remember about 17. When I was 17, went to the North Perth Hotel, which was a big happening pub, very, very busy, very popular. Saw a band called The Times.
Yeah.
It was Tony Tyler, Terry Walker, and Jim Sheridan, just a three-piece.
Yeah.
But they packed the place out. They were like 6 deep at the bar. You could not move in the place. And what a following they had. And I thought, wow, I want to be on stage. The only thing I thought of was missing in the band was bass. At that stage, I didn't play. But they did a few Beatles songs, a few Cliff Richard songs, and everything.
2 guitars and drums.
2 guitars and drums.
And vocals.
Tony Tyler had a big jumbo, right? Big, strong, big sound with his jumbo. Didn't really miss the bass that much. And Jim Sheridan, well, he's a big boy, so he had his foot pedal just, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And it covered. And Terry Walker was a great guitar player, good singer. He did all the Cliff stuff. Tony did all the Elvis stuff. Yeah. And I thought, I can see myself, everything. Doing the Beatles stuff with them, but never eventuated. But
so that you were looking at them, aspiring to be like them.
Oh, yeah.
Your first band was called The Thoughts, I think?
They were The Thoughts, yeah. I got into that quite by mistake because my brother, Nigel, bless his soul, he passed away at the age of 40.
Wow.
Yeah, heart attack.
Very young.
Which really runs in the family, which is quite sad.
Yeah.
He had a relationship with a Dutch girl, and she was, she didn't like him sort of doing the whole rock and roll thing and the band thing.
The other girls.
Yeah, and so he says, "Can you take my place?" She won't let me go. I said, "What? You want me to do the audition?" So I went to these guys and did the audition, and they said, "Look, we want you in the band." And then about a week later, they said, "Look, we can't have you in the band because we've got this guy from over east coming, and apparently he's a big star. His name was Nathan Black."
Nathan Black.
So he came over and joined this band. But while at rehearsals, there was these other guys watching. So when they realized I got the flick, they said, "We want you to join us."
All right.
And that's how The Thoughts was born.
Yeah.
And so that was The Thoughts. And then Nigel came and joined as rhythm guitarist.
Wow.
And that's why we did quite a few shows at Johnny Young's Club 17,
Club 17,
which was pretty popular back then.
Were you playing bass in that?
I wasn't. No.
You were just singing.
I was a singer.
Yeah.
And Vic Jones was the bass player, who also was the engineer for Channel 7.
Right.
So what happened with all the bands that used to come to Channel 7, they'd have to record. They'd have about 2 hours to record 3 songs. That's not a lot of time.
Absolutely not.
But with Vic Jones, we used to go there Thursday night from about 10 o'clock and go right through till about 5 in the morning and do whatever we wanted
Your
to
song
do.
sounded great.
And we used to have to mime them back then,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And if you look really closely, there's a few little mistakes in the
tell.
miming, but
Yeah.
but at least you guaranteed a good sound.
Yes.
You know, can you imagine doing it live back then?
No, absolutely not.
Wouldn't happen.
And other bands, The Clan.
The Clan, yes. Again, that was around about 1966.
What was the scene like in those days? Like what?
The scene, oh man. The Clan, there was probably 3 main bands, and The Clan was one of them, The Times and The Troubadours.
Yep.
Now I know there was the Mark IV and
Statesman. and
the
all
Statesman,
those. Yeah.
but I think The Clan had the majority because they were really working hard.
Yeah.
They had a following, huge following, you know, guaranteed wherever they played, the crowd would go there.
Yeah.
And that really helped, you know.
So, like radio stations in those days, who were were they playing?
Radio stations. I think
Did they
Keith McGowan was a big name.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, he was probably the top of the pops. You know, he was the main man. I'm not sure whether he was with 6KY or 6PM.
Yeah, because that was still the two when I came to Perth in the early 70s. 6KY, 6PM were the stations.
Main draw cards.
Yeah, everyone listened to those stations.
Yeah.
They didn't play a lot of original music or a lot of Perth music in the 70s, but I presume they did in the later 60s. And
yeah, I was with The Clan when Glenn Ingram brought out the Skyboat song, which hit #1 throughout Australia. I think. Yeah, the big one.
Yep. Early Breakaway.
Early Breakaway. I joined Breakaway, but prior to Breakaway, I was with a band called Bizarre, and we used to work at the Zanzibar nightclub.
All right.
In William Street.
Yeah.
We do a gig in Claremont called the Pump House, which was a wine bar.
Yeah.
From about 7:30 till 10. Then we rush over to the Colliseum and do a spot. 40-minute spot. They'd probably have about 6 or 7 bands, 8 bands on, you know, bang, 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 one after the other. After that, we pack our gear up and head to the Zanzibar.
Yeah.
Start at 12 o'clock.
3 gigs in one night.
And go through till 5 in the morning.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the Colosseum here and just how they got the bands to go 10:15 to 10:45, 10:45 to 11:15, 11:15 to 12. No changeover time, just whoosh,
That's it. That's
you're
it.
on.
Bang,
Plug
straight
in.
on.
Yeah, that's
That's
amazing.
what it was.
I believe we've got some of these photos that we're going to put up during the interview, so we don't have to hold them up to the camera, and our crew don't have to do so much work. They
With
can get away with a bit of
the
work.
Bazaar, we went. Well, a couple of the guys from Bazaar went to Vietnam, and did a WA concert party over there.
Yep.
And quite recently, I've got together with Eddie Storm, Peter Harries, Kelly Green, and myself, all performed in Vietnam, and we did a show in Mandurah about 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was great.
I believe
catching up.
there was a show I saw on Facebook yesterday with Peter Harries and there's a whole Brendan Fosdyke and all those guys were there. And it seems like they're doing a few of those.
Yeah. They sort of rang me up and said, you know, it was basically for all the people that actually performed in Vietnam. So
Yeah, wow.
I said, what the hell, you know?
Yeah, go
let's
and
do it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Catch up with old friends.
And so after that, Early Breakaway? Is
Early
that where you started
Breakaway.
playing bass? Or?
I started with bass with Breakaway, and after we broke away, I formed a duo called Billy Jack and the Cat.
I remember Billy Jack and the Cat. Yeah.
And Trevor and myself, we were writing a lot of stuff, a lot of original stuff. We were in Adelaide. We were in Adelaide when this competition, Australia-wide competition, came up, and it was to write a jingle for the Amco jeans.
All right.
So we were in Adelaide. You know Idris Jones at all? Idris used to be with the Mixtures.
Yep.
Now, Idris had the Grapevine Studios in North Adelaide, and I did quite a few jingles for Idris every time I went to Adelaide.
Yep.
And there was this competition, Amco Jeans. So we said, let's go, let's do it. So we recorded the jingle over there, and we said, well, we'll have to go back to Perth, so we'll send it back to Perth. I'm not sure whether 6PR, I think 6PR was dealing with the whole promotional thing. And they had probably about 20 entries. And at one stage, they weren't going to send it to the East Coast. At the last minute, they decided to, which was in our favour, because we ended up winning.
Wow.
And the first prize was a trip to LA.
Wow.
With a day's recording in a top LA studio, record plant.
How was that?
Fantastic. We went over there and we recorded in San Francisco at record plant over there. And I'm trying to think of the engineer. Well, the guy, he never told us, but other people that were close to him, he said, you know who you're working with? He's recorded the Stones, he's recorded the Eagles, and here you are recording with him, you know. And we put an original song called Dangerous Waters. And we had a click track machine, Trevor on keyboards, and I did the vocals. Then this guy said, man, I love this song. He said, I want you to leave it here. I'll get some strings put on, and if I can get anything else, I'll do it, and I'll send it back to you in Perth. And which he did, and we got it back. Then we got Rick Whittle to put drums on.
Yeah.
We did another lead guitar part. Cliff Linton put guitar on it, and a bass player, Paul Pulley, I think it was. Yep. So it was done in 3 different stages.
Wow. And
to hear it, you go, wow. And it was a big ballad, probably along the lines of Desperado or what's that, Bridge Over Troubled Water, something like that, you know. And but it's just on the shelf, collecting dust, which is such a shame.
Didn't release it?
Couldn't release it. It just, well, the whole thing is, where do you go? You know, you're back in Perth. That's the whole thing, you know. And it's a crying shame, because it's a great song, great original, and it still stands up today.
So do you think that's a frustrating thing about all of us musicians from Perth, is that we're so far away, isolated? And
it's a shame, because it would have been great, you know, the comparison with New York and LA, you know, it's fantastic. But Perth is still that little sleepy town, isn't it? In some ways.
Have a Perth and Sydney thing, you have a New York and LA.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It just hasn't had that input, that money to sort of boost it.
Yeah, we've got money for everything else.
Yeah.
So we're still trying to get money for this show.
You guys are doing a great job,
somewhere.
Man. Great job. So, yeah.
So what were the venues like in those days as well? Like
the venues in Perth?
Yeah, the Top Hat and all those sort of type of places that you would have played in, or Embassy Ballroom you would have?
Embassy Ballroom, no? Canterbury.
Canterbury Court, yeah.
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 That was huge. I mean, that was almost, I think they had quite a few bands there too, you know, and then the Anzac, where they had all those shows.
Yep.
The Colliseum.
Yeah.
There was a number of places.
Yeah. I
mean, it was very, very healthy so far as venues and live entertainment.
Yeah.
And now it's a crying shame today, because it's, you know, as I say, I've been from 6 going around to 2-piece bands, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, duos. So you play at the casino like all of us.
Yeah. Mix and match.
Mix and match.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking with, I think it was Paul Ewing.
Paul, yeah, I'm working with him on the 12th of next month, in fact.
Yeah, at the casino.
The Riverside Room.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've played there a few times. The groupies are definitely aren't as young as they used to be. But it's still fun.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
it's a captured audience, you know. I mean, people go there.
Yeah.
They spend their money on the machines and so forth. So you give them entertainment. So it's a win-win situation. So even when they lose their money, they've had a good time, you know.
Yeah. So moving sideways a bit, have you had any other jobs throughout your life apart from music?
Yeah. When I first came to Perth, 16, Mum said, man, you got to get something behind you, you know. You got to get a trade. I wanted to be a ladies' hairdresser. I thought that would be nice. And but the queue was too long. You know, by the time you waited for a position, I was past the age of apprenticeship.
Yeah.
So I had to get into something quick.
It was all about apprenticeships then, wasn't it?
The funny thing happened when I first got here. You know, it was like in November. It was a very, very hot summer. So I'm here directly from England, and I'm looking around. Everyone's walking around in shorts and, you know, singlets, and this is it, man. This is amazing. So, 16-year-old, I went for my first interview. So I thought, well, in Rome, do as the Romans do. So I'm there in my shorts, my singlet, and I go to Woolies for a job. So this guy goes, listen, he says.
You haven't got any Woolies signs or...
No Woolies signs. I'll leave that for... So I go there for this job and dressing accordingly. It was hot out there, you know, and this guy said, look, I suggest that if you ever want to do this again, please, you better dress up and look as if you're really keen to get a job, all right? Just a little tip. Okay, all right. So, needless to say, I didn't get that job.
Yeah.
So I had an interview for an apprenticeship as a carpenter. Okay, I can't get the hairdressing job, so let's try this. So I put a suit on, a tie, 106 degrees out there. I finally found where I had to go. It was in Guildford Street. So I'm walking down the street in my suit and tie, looking for the number of the house. This guy washing his car there. The shorts, no shirt on. And I asked, I'm looking for 26. He said, it's right here, man. Don Campbell? He said, that's me. He's strapped down, had no shirt, shorts, thongs,
you got it the wrong way around, didn't you?
Washing his car, and there you go. I thought, oh no.
Let me give you a tip, son. Don't ever turn up for a carpenter's job in the suit. Right?
Oh man, what do you do, huh? What do you do?
Oh, you learn pretty quickly.
But I got the job.
Wow.
I got the job.
Okay.
I did my 4.5 years of apprenticeship, and they decided to say, look, we're going up north. Would you like to come? I had 6 months to go. I said, I've just got a gig in a band with the Clan. I'm making so much more money. He said, look, as long as you do your apprenticeship, the exams, pass it, that's it, okay?
Great.
So I did all that, got my certificate, never did 1 week of a fully qualified carpenter. What do you say?
Yeah. Any other jobs since, or that was a lesson?
That's it, man. That's it.
You thought, yeah,
Muso, ever since.
Great.
19.
Life.
That's it.
So, bands in the 70s, in the 80s.
Well, I was with Billy Jack and the Cat. Then
Billy Jack and the Cat went for quite some number of years. Didn't it?
Yeah. We did a lot of original stuff.
Yeah.
And it was great, as Jim Ross has said. You know, when you're doing your original stuff and people appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were going twice a year, I should say, to Adelaide, playing at the Old Line Hotel.
Yeah.
Down in the piano bar. It was great. It was great. So that happened. Then later on, I joined Fossil Rock.
Fossil Rock.
With Rick Selby from the Troubadours. Quite a few of the other guys that had been around. So,
was that more on a circuit thing that you did then, or?
Actually, with Breakaway, we went around Australia too, with the Ivan Damus circuit, as the boys did.
Yeah.
And so that was the whole thing. Went to Mount Isa, Canberra, Sydney, Adelaide, Melbourne, the whole trip.
So there was a hole in every port.
Yeah, yeah.
What was your favourite band of all time, Ray?
Favourite band of all times would have to be the Beatles.
The Beatles?
I think so, pretty hard to go past. I mean, it's just the whole thing, the connection that the guys had. I mean, you couldn't take one guy out of the Beatles and replace him with anyone else. It wouldn't be the same, Whereas it can happen with the Stones or anyone else. They've had changes.
Yeah, exactly.
And never missed a beat.
So if you were stranded on a deserted island and you could only take one album with you, what would that album be, Ray?
One album? I'd have to go for the White Album.
The White Album?
Yeah.
Beatles again.
Beatles again, but it's a double album.
Yes.
It's got more songs in it.
Yeah. And the best Perth band you saw live?
Best Perth band? Look, I was in the early days when I was 17. I mean, that the Times got me, because they had the audience, they had a huge following, they dressed like pop stars, and performed really well.
Who was in that band, Ray? Can you remember?
Tony, who I've been working with at the Crown for the last 4 years.
Okay.
Well, hopefully we'll try and get him.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Tony, Terry Walker, and Jim Sheridan. As I said, it was only a three-piece band.
Three-piece, yeah.
But they had a connection.
Is Jim still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They all are.
Yeah.
Terry Walker's over on the East Coast. I had a phone call with him a few months back, and he's not doing as much, but
still playing.
Still playing a little bit.
It's one of those things, isn't it? When you're young, you
never stop, man.
No, you think, well, I'm going to be grey and old one day, but it doesn't seem to make any difference, does it?
We're all rockers, man. We'll take it. We'll take it to the grave.
What was your favourite TV show growing up?
TV show. I can only put it down to out of my TV. Going back to the England when I was about 12, 13. We used to run home from school to my uncle's place, who had a little 10-inch TV, black and white, and watch Rin Tin Tin.
Wow.
And the Cisco Kid.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
Little screen.
I can still remember those programs.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And, it was just so exciting just to see moving pictures,
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I think TV in Australia, like the colour didn't really come in until 75 or whenever it was, so that's when it really went.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So, we've got a guitar here that we get all of our guests to sign.
Wow.
And we'd love you to see if you can fit your name on there somewhere. And we're actually going to give this guitar away to someone one day.
Yeah? Excellent.
And while we're at it, I'll just give the Pub Band Legends a plug. It's volume 2. It's got the Frames, the Perfect Strangers, the Never Never, V Capri, Loaded Dice, Manteca, the world famous Horrorlettes, you name it. They're on here. $20 from ProCopy. There you go. Thank you very much. $20 from ProCopy, www.procopy.com.au. That's volume 2. And all proceeds go to the Pecco Foundation, and appreciate it if you would have a listen to that, because if you're into Perth music, there's some great tracks on there. What unfulfilled ambitions do you have, Ray? Anything you want to do that you haven't achieved?
I like to record a Jim Rossiter song.
A Jim Rossiter song? No.
I've planted the seed tonight.
Yep.
He's going to call me.
Wow. So he's going to write the song.
He's going to write a song, and I'm going to record at his place.
Okay. I think
so. There you go.
Maybe that's one of the nights I promised I'd come around and.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does the future hold for you, Ray? You think?
Future hold? Wow. I just love music, man. You know, wherever I am, it's going to be part of my life.
So you just like to be in the moment with your music and...
Yeah, and stay healthy.
Yeah.
Stay healthy and do the things I like doing. Played a little bit of golf. Any golfers here? No? Damn.
Well, yeah, I play golf, but you want to know what my handicap is?
What?
It's me. So I don't really play that much.
Well, it's such a social game, you know, it's a social game. It's not like tennis where if you can't play tennis, then, you know.
You can't play tennis.
It's pretty boring if the guy can't hit the ball across the net. But with the golf, it's a conversation thing, social thing, and you're playing the game against yourself.
Yeah. Do you collect anything? Golf balls or anything?
A collector. I'm trying to give it up because I'm trying to get rid of stuff, you know, the things that you hoard.
What have you hoarded? Give us an insight into that.
Speakers, musical stuff that you can't get rid of. You even put them on the sidewalk, and they'll still stay there forever.
Yeah.
But no, I can't say I'm a collector of any.
Yeah.
Not really.
Little soldiers or nothing like that. Okay. What would you put on your gravestone? I know that's a strange question, but one I must ask.
Wish you were here.
Wish you were here. Good name for an album too. Good name for an album.
There's a party happening down here. Come on. Come and join me.
And we're going to play a clip after this. I'm not sure which one, but is it an older clip?
It'll probably be one of the early ones from the days of Club 17.
Great.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know, black and white. I was probably 18 at the time.
Wow.
So that'll be fun.
I saw a picture of you there somewhere with long curly locks. And, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And the dress was quite funny in those days when we look back. But then we'll probably look back.
That was probably more the 70s with the flares and the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the big, what were they?
What were they called?
Platforms.
Platforms, that's right.
Yeah.
God, it was great.
How do you walk around in them?
Get up to about 5'9".
Ray, look, it's really fun having you in here.
Thanks
very much for coming in. And
been my pleasure.
And just sharing that earlier part of the Perth music scene with us.
I hope I've filled in a few gaps, you know, the early days.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, nice to have you, mate. And that's it for this week from The Profile. And thanks for joining us. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up, more thumbs up. And my producer
baby,
kill me for doing that because he told me not to do it. But thumbs up. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Thanks, Ray.
All has changed with time. The future none can see. The road you leave behind. Ahead lies mystery. But all is fair in love. I should have never left your side. No. A writer takes his pen to write the words again. All is fair in love. All of fate's a chance. You either win or lose. When all is put away, the losing side I play. But all in war is so cold. You either win or lose. When all is put away, I play. Yeah. But all is fair in love. I should have never left your side. No, no. A writer takes his pen to write the words again. All is fair in love. A writer takes his pen to write the words again. All is fair in love.